Hello and welcome back to Canuck Park Hopper. I'm Scott, and today I want to talk about how to do everything at HHN in one night without Express. Halloween Horror Night starts in just under 1 week, and we could not be more excited. This year, the event celebrates its 35th anniversary, and it looks like Universal is holding nothing back to make this one of the best years ever. In saying that, there is a lot to do and see at HHN 35 this year, and it can be a little overwhelming. If you're able to visit the event on multiple nights, it's a little bit more manageable since you could split it up over those multiple nights. But what if you're only there for one night? How do you get it all done? Well, I can tell you that in our 8 years of going to HHN, Ryan and I have been able to get everything done in one night multiple times. And to add to it, we've never once had Express. So today, I want to share our top 6 secrets with you and go over the best strategy to do and see everything at HHN 35 in one night without Express. I'll go through all 6 secrets, and then at the end of the video, I'll give you my rough itinerary of how I plan to get everything done at HHN 35, so stay tuned till the end. Before we get going, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments if you plan on going to HHN 35. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, dress and pack properly for the night. First up, let's start with one of the most important ones so you can carry on through the whole night. Here's a couple things that will always be true for a night at HHN. It's going to involve a lot of walking, and Florida weather is very temperamental and unpredictable. Halloween Horror Nights happens rain or shine, so you have to be prepared for both. And being properly prepared can be the difference between getting everything done and not. For those reasons, you have to make sure to dress properly and to bring your event essentials. Make sure you're wearing proper shoes. Sure, we all want to look good at the event. Shirts are a great way to show off your favorite horror movie or house. Shoes are not. This is not a great time to try out brand new shoes or wear unique shoes, or definitely not heels. I would wholeheartedly recommend wearing some runners or some very comfortable sneakers, because you're going to be on your feet and walking around for literally like 12 hours. It's also important to bring a bag with other essentials to keep you going for the rest of the night. We like to bring a string bag, as they are light and easy to carry, but can hold everything we need. Here's what we put in our bag. A water bottle, or even better, a refillable mug. As I said, you're going to be out for a long time, so it's important to stay hydrated. Universal has tons of freestyle Coke machines all over the park, so free water, or any other beverages, if you have a refillable mug, are easy to access anywhere. We also make sure to bring an external charger for our phones, because you are going to need your phone, whether it be for the app, which I'll go over shortly, or for entertainment as you just wait in line. And lastly, we always make sure to bring our rain essentials, which are ponchos, umbrellas, and flip-flops. Yes, we make sure to bring flip-flops every single night, because let's be real, there's nothing worse than having wet socks and wet shoes. Of course, ponchos and umbrellas keep our bodies dry, but when it starts raining, we make sure to immediately switch our shoes and socks for flip-flops so that we can keep trudging around the park in the downpour. I'm not gonna lie, our most successful HHN night ever was during a downpour. Because of the crazy rain, so many people hid in shops for hours or just left the park altogether. But because we came prepared, we were able to just speed run the houses. We went through 14 houses in the span of 3 hours. One thing to note is that the scare zones and shows do shut down during the rain. You can walk through the zones and see the props, but the scare actors will not be out. But as long as the houses aren't flooding, you'll be able to fly through them. Okay, now that we've dressed and packed properly, let's move on to the next secret. Number 2, go in with a plan. Having a plan before you even enter the park is crucial. Yes, things can happen and plans can change, but having even just a rough idea of what you want to do and where you want to go can save you hours. The map for this year's event just dropped, and it shows where all of the houses and scare zones will be, as well as the entertainment offerings. On the south side of the park, the houses in the sound stages are Stranger Things, Evil Dead Burn, Jack and Oddfellow, Madlands, and Ozzy. In the Fast and Furious queue is Cybergoria. And in the tents on the north side, we have Hellraiser, Sinners, HR Blood and Guts, and Invasion. The nice thing about the scare zones and almost all of the entertainment is that they are on the way to the houses, so there isn't really a strategy of seeing them. You have to walk through them to get to the different houses. However, it is definitely a good idea to have a strategy for the houses. For the most part, the IP houses will always have longer waits than the originals. For this year's event, the houses with the longest waits will most likely be Stranger Things, Hellraiser, Sinners, and Jack and Oddfellow. Now, that's not to say that the other houses will have short lines, especially in the middle part of the night, and I mean like 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. I bet no line is less than 45 minutes. For our strategy, we're going to prioritize our most hyped of those popular houses in the first bit of the night, and then the rest of them in the end of the night. I'll go into more detail on this shortly. To be honest, it bodes well this year that the IPs are split pretty evenly between the sound stages and the tents, so you hopefully won't have to backtrack a lot this year. No one ever wants to backtrack, but sometimes it is necessary. You never know when a wait is going to jump up or crash down, so having the app open and watching those wait times is key. One thing to note is that you can set wait time alerts on the app, so if a line drops below your limit, you can be alerted and get yourself over to that house to take advantage of the shorter line. It's also important to keep in mind the shows at this year's event. Both are sure to be popular, but Nightmare Fuel will definitely need some strategy to get it done. Over the last couple years, Nightmare Fuel has been super popular, having lines as long or longer than the houses. My strategy for Nightmare Fuel is to get in line about 30 to 40 minutes before the show you plan on seeing. You probably won't get the best seat, but you will at least get in, see the show, and then hopefully get out of the theater in a reasonable fashion to get back to the houses. You can also prioritize Nightmare Fuel for either the first showing of the night or the last showing, which should have slightly less people in line than during prime time. For the Stranger Things Lagoon show, you should be able to find a place to watch if you show up 10 to 15 minutes before showtime. You might not have the clearest or best view, but you'll at least be able to take it in. If either of these shows are super important to you, I'd show up 15 minutes even before what I said earlier to find a better seat. Now that we have a rough plan, let's get into some more details. Number 3, take advantage of Scream early. To get everything done, it is crucial to show up to the event early. For past years, I would always say take advantage of Stay and Scream, but this year Universal is doing things a little bit differently. For HHN 35, Universal is implementing Scream early, which will allow guests with annual passes, daytime admission, and those that buy a Scream early ticket to access some of the houses at 2 p.m. Yes, like literally in the middle of the day, you can knock out a few of the houses well before the event technically starts, thereby freeing up a ton of space in your night to get this done. Universal actually just put out a little video about this to clarify how this works, so let's give it a watch right now.
Stay and Scream? Scream early? Let's get into it so we can get this show on the road. If you have one of these, congratulations! You can stay until the show begins. If you have an HHN ticket, but you don't have one of those, then you, my friend, need a Scream early ticket. Got it? Got it? I know you're wondering, what do I do next? Glad you asked. First, get your wristbands. You can get one here or at one of the designated spots around the park. Then, at 2 p.m., select haunted houses will open exclusively for wristbanded Stay and Scream guests, with more opening on a rolling schedule later. And that's it. The nightmare is about to begin. Are you ready? Please. No, please.
3 houses will be open at 2 p.m. Jack and Oddfellow, Stranger Things 5, and Hellraiser. If you remember what I said earlier, these are sure to be 3 of the most popular houses at this year's event, so to be able to nail them out super early is awesome. Make sure to be in the park by 2 p.m. to take advantage of Scream early. Having this early start will 100% prove to be beneficial to get everything done. But you know what the other best time is to knock some of these houses out? Power Hour, which leads us to our next secret. Number 4, take advantage of Power Hour. What is Power Hour? Power Hour is the last hour of the night, when people start to clear out, the crowds thin, and the lines drop significantly. This is true for every night, but especially weeknights. Orlando locals love to visit HHN, but they do have to work. So us visitors that don't mind pushing to the bitter end on the weeknights can use this to our advantage. Last year, we were able to do 3 houses in the last hour of the event. The wait times may have said the houses had long waits, but the truth is, they were almost walk-ons. Jason Universe had a posted wait of 60 minutes, but it was actually only 10. Then El Artista had a posted wait of 35, but it was actually only 20. And WWE Horrors of the Y at 6 had a posted wait of 10 minutes, but it was a walk-on. The last hour is a great time to do some of those more popular houses because they should have much lower waits. So if you can do 3 to 4 houses in the early hours, 3 houses in the last hour, that only leaves 3 to 4 houses in the middle part of the night. Easy! Number 5, food strategy. HHN is not only about the houses and scare zones. Every year, Universal comes up with some iconic food items that really add to the event. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if you're planning on doing all of the houses, see all the scare zones, and watch all the shows, you are not going to be able to eat everything at the event. Which is probably good as well, because that would cost you a fortune.
Help me, I'm poor.
My advice is to check out the food items before you go, and pick 1 or 2 that you really want to try. With Scream Early starting at 2, I would hit up a food booth kind of right after the event technically starts at 6:30. This way the food line items shouldn't be too long yet because everyone's going to be getting in line for houses, and then you can maybe get your second item closer to midnight. This will allow you to spend more time waiting in line for houses than waiting in line for food. And lastly, number 6, skip the rides and shopping. During HHN, all of the shops and most of the rides do remain open. But the point of the night is HHN. If you want to make sure you take everything in with the event, skip the rides. Though they will most likely have relatively short waits, it's better to spend that time going through the scare zones or waiting in line for houses. Same goes for shopping. Now I can hear you already. Rides, yeah, I get, but what about the tribute store? That's an iconic part of HHN and it has to be seen. Okay, you're right. It is actually one of my favorite parts of HHN, other than last year, and it does have to be seen. So how can my advice be to skip it? Well, just like the rides in other shops, the tribute store is open during normal park hours, every day of the week for the duration of HHN. So this is something that you can see during the day, and you can take your sweet time going through it when you aren't on the HHN clock. The only time I would suggest going through the tribute store during HHN hours is if you don't have daytime admission. If you are only there for HHN, then yes, you must go through the tribute store. I wouldn't spend an hour going through it and taking in all the tiny minute details, but I would definitely give it a solid 10 to 15 minutes as you're going through downtown Clowntown. And there you have it. There are my 6 secrets to getting everything done at HHN in one night without Express. So now that you know my secrets, I'm going to give you my actual strategy for how I plan to get this all done. This list prioritizes the house I care about most, so if yours differ, you might want to switch it up a little bit. And as I said, things can change, so you might have to switch things up on the fly anyways, but this at least gives you a starting point. For our night, we're going to make sure to take full advantage of the houses that open at 2 p.m. for Scream Early. We're going to get in line for Jack and Oddfellow right off the bat and start our night off right. We'll hopefully get out of this house relatively early, and so we are going to head to either Stranger Things or Evil Dead Burn next. Stranger Things if the line is reasonable, by reasonable I mean like less than 45 minutes, or Evil Dead Burn if Stranger Things line is too long. If the Stranger Things line is really long, we might just skip it and leave it for Power Hour, maybe even the last house of the night. After getting these 3 houses done, it should be about 4 to 5 p.m., so the scare zones won't be open yet. This will allow us to head to the back of the park and check out Invasion, HR Blood and Guts, Sinners, and Hellraiser. This will depend on what queues are open already, but the houses are all close enough together and we'll try to hit them all 4 in a row. By the time we're done with these houses, the event will be well underway. If it's around half an hour before a Nightmare Fuel show, we'll get in line for that. If it's later, we'll probably make our way through Club Horror and on to Cybergoria. At this point, all of the house lines are going to be quite long, so we're just going to have to pull up our patient pants and get ready to wait in some lines. After Cybergoria, we will have Aussie and Madlands left, which are sure to have longer lines. This could be a good time to go and see Nightmare Fuel if we couldn't before, or go watch the Stranger Things Lagoon show, or even just get off our feet for a sec and grab a bite to eat. Yes, I know I said earlier not to get food in the middle part of the evening, but between like 9 and 11, everything's going to have a long line. Everything. Saving Aussie and Madlands for after midnight should help reduce the wait times a little bit, making it more doable to plow those houses out and complete the night. So now that you know our 6 secrets and our rough plan, you should have no problem finishing the night in one night. Please let me know in the comments if you plan on using any of these secrets, and if you do, let me know how they go. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video and strategizing about HHN with me. With the event starting in just under 1 week, we're all so excited to get back into the fog. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like as it will really help the channel grow. And if you want more theme park and HHN content, please subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Canuck Park Hopper for more behind the scenes theme park fun. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the fog.